So young people are often painted as lazy and they don't want to work, things like that, yeah? Which we know is highly not true. Most of the young people I speak to now are highly motivated, probably even more motivated than I was. So I want to take you back. When I left college or school, I think it was, I wanted to work. I always wanted to work. I never wanted to study. I was never good at studying. And funny enough, I study a lot now and I read a lot now, but I never read before. But going back to myself, I would apply for jobs and you'd either not hear back. And these are jobs that have been on the market for ages, let's say, have no experience needed, yeah, don't pay any well, don't pay good, but they're still looking for people to work. And you'd apply, you wouldn't hear anything back. I thought, and they lead you down the garden path. The lies you are fed as a job seeker is unbelievable. They make out if your CV is a certain way, you won't get the job. Do it this way. It's like, trust me, I'm a recruiter. I don't even care for CVs formats. Like, that's just irrelevant. I want to see experience because I know that's what my client is looking for. Yeah. And they're looking for that because they need the job done. And these aren't entry level positions. I'm talking about new job seekers. So, how do you actually get a job as a job seeker when nobody will even give you a look in? Even if you apply for any job, yeah, I'm saying you've got no money in the bank and you're willing to do any work, yeah. Probably if I applied for McDonald's, which I always think, should I just apply as a joke and see if I actually get an interview? And I wonder if I'd actually get a job. And hands down, I know a lot of people that worked at McDonald's and they always left and they said it was the hardest job. But if I never applied for McDonald's, I was always scared they'd reject me. Can you imagine being rejected by McDonald's? Anyway, scrolling back, this is what I see from the workplace and the entry level job seeker. It's very tough. And if you've got an experience, you're less than worthless because there's people with experience that are willing to do the minimum wage job. And the biggest problem is actually the minimum wage. I'll explain why. And people say, oh, do an apprenticeship and all that. Apprenticeships are probably way more competitive. Graduate positions are, trust me, the applications I get for a graduate role would be 200 to 600 in London. For a normal job, you'll be lucky to get an applicant for a qualified person. Yeah. So apprenticeships, they'll get 2,000 applicants for an apprenticeship. Think how many school leavers are leaving all at once. College leavers, university leavers are leaving all at the same time. And they're all applying for every single apprenticeship. Imagine the applications that are coming through. It's ridiculous. So they're hyper competitive. It's probably one of the most competitive things you can probably apply for, in my opinion. Yeah, graduate roles and apprenticeships. And people lead you down the garden path. Job advisors, people at your schools and colleges, they say, oh, if you tweak your CV this way, you'll get an interview. Let's do interview skills. But they never show you how to actually get an interview. And what makes an interview? They tell you, oh, you could volunteer. Well, if you've got no money, how are you going to volunteer? Like, you need money to survive. It costs to go there. You're actually running your life at a further loss now. So it's very difficult. Volunteering is for people that have money, in my opinion. So for me, I could go out and I could volunteer to learn a skill. If I wanted to become a barber, I'll go into the shop and I'll say, mate, can I come work every Saturday? I'll work for free. I'll pay you everything. I'll even bring you customers. Yeah, for example. But going back to what you should do, it's impossible. And the reason is the minimum wage. The minimum wage is here, £12.21 in the UK. And the average worker is, like whatever data you're looking at, let's say 30,000, yeah, 28, 32, whatever. The minimum wage is slightly going up. So what it's doing is those people that were earning the middle range are being pushed into the minimum wage. So their skill set is here now. It's on the minimum wage. So you're competing with someone that, I don't know, has 15, 20 years work experience. Who would you hire? Someone coming into the market? Or the saving grace is you live in a very rural area where no one else lives and you can kind of get the job because no one else applied. But the likelihood of you living in a city or a large town and no one else applying is very, very minimum. Anyway, we won't even go into the racism, the demographics, the classism around people applying for jobs, because there's a certain minority that gets the least amount of job offers and the least amount of interviews. I won't name any names, but in terms of job seekers, look, they're finished in the market. If you've got no skills at the moment, a job isn't for you. And you're painted out to be a lazy person when that happens. It's not true. In fact, you're highly motivated. And the sad thing is, when they paint you out to be lazy, you start to see yourself as lazy. And it's quite sad. I don't want to turn this into a therapy session, but in theory, I don't even know what the point of this video is and what I'm trying to make is, but all the lies out there is not true. It's a whole system rigged against the job seeker. And the job seeker without experience, I should say. You literally, if there's loads of jobs out there, you can't get a job. It's impossible. You can volunteer, but you got no money. It's a catch-22 position. You're effed if you do, you're effed if you don't. Yeah? And they were fed lies, and the sad thing is, I was fed the same lies, growing up, as the people now are still fed. Go uni, get a degree, get a good job, blah, blah, blah. It's very sad, actually. And it's only when life actually hits you. This is why I'm tough on my kids and I give them the reality of the life. Yeah, I could spoil them, I do spoil them, but you got to give people the reality of life. Like, someone rings me and says, oh, I want this job, I got no experience, I'm a really hard worker. I said, look, you can start your own business if you're really that hard working. I'll say to them, like, it's not true. So as a job seeker, you got two options. And your first option, if you got no experience, is to start your own business, in theory. There's no other option for you right now. The sad reality is you must start your own business, and you don't need money to start your own business. Bro, if I say things to people when they say, I got no money, I got no job, I can't get a job, I say, bro, get a bucket, go on your street and knock on your some window. Oh, I don't want to do that. But you want to apply for jobs that they reject you all the time. What are you scared of rejection? Or someone might see me. Do you know how much my window cleaner makes? Way more than anyone on my street, I can tell you that for sure. And there's doctors, lawyers, people that own private schools on my street. There's footballers up the road, and they earn more than them. Not the footballers, but anyway, digressing more. But the job seekers are, they're really suffering out there. And the trouble is, it's the minimum wage. They've priced them out of the market. The only thing that would save them is if, I would say, probably the minimum wage gets rid of. Totally, everyone says minimum wage gone. It's finished. No more minimum wage. Everyone could kind of crack on and pay whatever you want to staff. And then you'll say, oh, but they'll exploit workers. Bro, a worker would not take a job. If I say I'm paying 20p a day, no one's going to apply. The only person that would apply is someone that genuinely wants to just learn the skill. They don't care about the money. Yeah. If someone said to me, oh, come and work for £2 a day at my mechanics, if I want to learn about cars, I'll go. I'll get my £2, buy a coffee. I can't even afford a coffee with £2, but you know what I mean? So genuinely, like, stop looking for jobs. And even if you get a job, there's nothing to buy with that kind of money. Yeah, minimum wage job. What are you going to get? 1,500, 1,800 a month? You ain't going to go anywhere in life with that kind of money. And the house prices are unaffordable. So the reason young people don't want to work and they look for other ventures, this is the natural, the market is telling you there's no need for people with no skills. Yeah. And do people really want to do those kind of jobs? Anyway, you'll do it for a bit and then you'll think, I'm worth more than this, or I'm better than this. I studied, I'm smart, I've got a lot more to offer. I just need the right vehicle to get there. And sadly, the best opportunity is for you to actually build something for yourself. And that's what everyone's going down, the entrepreneurial route. And it takes years to realize it, but maybe you'll come back to this video one day and say, Kaz was right. I wish you all the best and take care.